Welcome into another edition of the Edward Jones Chatting Cage, your chance to get FaceTime with some of the biggest names in Major League Baseball. I'm Tim McMaster, and joining us in the cage today, Ben Revere, center fielder for the Philadelphia Phillies. Ben, thanks for joining us.
No problem. Glad to be here.
All right, so the way this works, there's that red button at the bottom of the screen. To get in line, you can get FaceTime with Ben and ask him your question yourself, or you can get on Twitter and use the hashtag #ChattingCage. Ask a question that way, and we will get your question through to Ben. And we're going to start with Twitter, Ben. And Phil's fan 388 wants to know, who has been the biggest influence on your baseball career and why?
Biggest influence? I definitely have to say it'd probably be Jim Thome. Get a chance to play with him, 2010-11 season. He really taught me a lot about the game and definitely know how to do my off-season workouts in every type of way. But, he's still to this day, I keep in touch with him and everything. He's a great guy. He's definitely a Hall of Famer in my books, and I say in everybody's books. But he's really had taught me a lot, definitely, being this game of baseball.
Absolutely. Supposedly one of the nicest guys in the game. All right, we're going to stick with Twitter, and George McCarron wants to know, where do you go for the best cheesesteaks in Philadelphia?
Probably Geno's. Usually I've driven past there a couple of times, and it's definitely a line waiting to get the good cheesesteaks. But it's there's quite a bit of places to go, down there. So, but I say that's probably Philly is probably some of the best. That's one of the top places to definitely go, Geno's. I ate one of their cheesesteaks, and it's delicious.
Yeah, people have been to Philly. I know there's Geno's, then there's Pat's right across the street. I actually like Tom's on South Street as well, another good spot. All right, Ben, we have a fan on the line now. If you can just tell us your name, where you're from, and go ahead with your question for Ben Revere.
My name is Ian, and I would like to know, I'm from Northeast Pennsylvania, Exeter. I want to know how you're so good on defense, like going back on the ball. I play baseball. I'm not really that great at going back on it. Like when it goes over my head, I just panic. Like how do you any tips for me for doing that?
Yeah, no, it's one of those type of deals. Do you play center field?
Yeah.
It's just definitely the main thing is not to panic. When I was, definitely being baseball my whole life, and I'm sure you have, it's just the main thing you do is just don't panic. When the ball is driven over your head, what I like to do is drop my head, take 2 steps. So when you keep your eyes on the ball the whole time, it slows you down going back on the ball. So some of the best outfielders like King Griffey Jr., Torrey Hunter, some of the Gold Glove winners, they always tell me, take a good drop step, drop your head, have 2 good, maybe 3 hard steps, look back, find the ball, and then that would help you catch up to the ball and make a great catch on it. So hope everything helps you out right there.
Ben, you mentioned some great players there, and you mentioned Thome a little bit earlier. It seems like you're a guy that really likes to soak in information from other Major League players, not necessarily even your teammates.
Yeah, I definitely got a few on here, especially one of them, Tony Gwynn Jr. He's been in the game for a little while, and he kind of helps me out a little bit on defense, hit my game out. You have Marlon Byrd. He's another guy. He's just since day one spring training, he's been the type of guy. He's had me on his wings and everything. But we have a bunch of Hall of Fame guys on this team. With Jimmy Rollins, Shea Utley. Hamels, Cliff Lee. It's just all those guys, no matter what, they try to help me out, make my game better. So, I could be in this game for a long time like they have.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great clubhouse to be in, I would think, for a young player like you. That's good stuff. All right, we have another fan coming on the line now. Ben, if you can just tell us your name, where you're from, and fire away with your question for Ben Revere.
Hi, Ben. I'm Matt from Bluebell, Pennsylvania. And just wondering, I see that you guys are in Citi Field tonight, this weekend. What's your favorite thing to do in New York?
Favorite thing? It's probably, shop. It's definitely, we have a couple of great shopping places. We have a Burberry right beside the hotel. I'll probably go check it out. And me and D. Brown, he's definitely a shopping fanatic. So we'll go to a couple of stores and pick out some nice clothes and everything. But shopping is definitely one of the top things to do in New York for myself.
All right, Ben, this is the Edward Jones Chatting Cage, your chance to get FaceTime with some Major League ball players, and Ben Revere is joining us today. And Ben, we're going to go back to Twitter now, and Brad35 Light wants to know, what's your favorite TV show?
Wow, favorite TV show. You know, it's I'll probably say I used to like 2.5 Men when they had Charlie Sheen on there. That show really cracked me up a little bit, but you know, usually, you know, I like watching History Channel a lot. You know, just get my, you know, have my education up still right there. You know, just learning new things and everything. But you know, it's still kind of good. You know, definitely not being in school right now, so I can still have, you know, my education, I guess, through the television, perhaps. But you know, my mom always tells me what's on the History Channel and makes me watch it. So I guess that's got to be one of my favorite things to do.
Outstanding. So Mom's still making sure you're learning some stuff. All right, we're going to go back to Twitter now. And AAA Reggie wants to know, speed's such a big part of your game, Ben. Do you think we'll ever see a Major League player steal 100 bases in a season again?
Ooh, I believe so. You know, I definitely say this. D. Gordon with the Dodgers, so he's a good friend of mine. No, he's on that pace. You know, he's definitely on that pace right now. But I believe so. You know, it's tough. Don't get me wrong. It's tough to do. But, you know, baseball is a crazy sport where, you know, something miraculous happened. I mean, nobody thought we'd see a Triple Crown runner ever, you know, in this decade. And we saw one happen with Miguel Cabrera. So it's, you never know. I think it may be a few guys, you know, in this, in Major League Baseball who could, you know, prestige that, you know, milestone.
Back to Twitter we go, and BT Montgomery wants to know, the NFL draft is going on in New York City this weekend. The MLB draft is coming up in June. He wants to know, what do you remember about being drafted back in the first round in 2007?
Oh man, it's one of those days that definitely gets you butterflies. You know, going through the whole process. You know, my advisor at the time, he was telling me that, you know, it's probably most likely I'll go in the top second round. So I would definitely want to go first round. So I was thinking the whole time, so okay, I'm just going to go to college, you know, and which I was going to go to University of Georgia. But it's just I was downstairs in my parents' basement watching that, and some of my friends came over from high school. And now my dad gets a phone call and about some good news, and I looked up, and, you know, I was the 27th picked overall in the draft was to the Minnesota Twins, and, you know, ever since then, I could just remember the day. Brought tears to my eyes, and me and my mom were both crying. So, but it was definitely a blessing day, and, you know, something I will remember for the rest of my life.
Outstanding. All right, we're going to have another fan joining us now in a few seconds. Obviously, draft day in Major League Baseball means you head to the minors for a little bit and have to battle your way to the majors, but still an exciting day. All right, we have a fan on the line now. If you can just tell us your name, where you're from, and ask your question for Ben Revere.
Hey, Ben, I'm Mike, and I'm from Paterson, New Jersey. I was just wondering, why did you change your walk-up music from Pharrell to Little John?
You know, that song, when it first came out, I loved it, you know. Yeah, I kind of went with it for a little bit, but, you know, after I kind of heard one of my good buddies come out with Turn Down For What for his walk-up, kind of got the same rocking a little bit. So I was like, I want to do the same thing in Philly because, you know, Philly fans, you know, I say they're one of the, you know, definitely one of the most passionate, best fans of Major League Baseball. So I was like, I definitely do that. But for the few games I had it, you know, they really, I could tell the fans was like dancing, jump up and down. So I thought it was pretty neat.
You got to love the little things that fans notice, like walk-up music before you're at bats. This is the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. Your chance to get some FaceTime with Ben Revere today. We're waiting for another fan, and we have another fan on the line. If you can just tell us your name, where you're from, and ask your question for Ben.
Hi, Ben. I'm Katie. I'm from Reading, Pennsylvania. I would like to know which historical or active outfielders you most admire and why.
I say historical. No, definitely I was a little baby. You know, my dad, grandfather's favorite player, was definitely Tony Gwynn and Willie Mays, some of those guys, and Hank Aaron. And I met Willie Mays and Hank Aaron before while I used to live in Georgia. That was definitely a big time inspiration for me. Just just learning tips and just picking their brains about the game of baseball. But those guys definitely really helped us change the game for African Americans and for myself to know that what they went through and all they become. And it's just as good a blessing just to get some tips for those guys, because I believe that I'll be able to play in Major League Baseball. They thought the same thing, but it's all about hard work and dedication. That was what they did. They told me to do that, and I'm here today. So without those guys telling me to don't work my tail off, I don't know I'd be here right now. So it was good just to be able to talk to those guys.
That's pretty neat to meet guys like that at a young age. All right, we're going to go back to Twitter now, Ben. And Stein Josh 40 wants to know, as someone who came up through the Twin system, like you mentioned, being drafted back in 2007, what do you think about Minneapolis hosting the All-Star game this summer?
I think everybody in Minnesota really wants me to make the All-Star game this year, so I could go back and play there. But Tucker Field is such a beautiful park. I was kind of bummed out that I didn't get to play in the Metro Dome, but just seeing Tucker Field and everything, it's just a beautiful scenery. The fans come out there, just enjoy themselves, and I think every player in the game who ever played there loved it. I mean, it's just beautiful all around, and them hosting the All-Star game this year is going to be a great time, and I could definitely say the Home Run Derby is going to be interesting, so I can wait for that.
All right, Ben, that's going to wrap things up. Just want to thank you for stepping into the cage and taking your cuts.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
All right, that'll do it for another edition of the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. I'm Tim McMaster. Thanks for joining us.